The following video is intended for mature audiences. It contains horror elements, adult themes, and language that might not be suitable for younger viewers. Baltasar Kormákur's 2015 film, Everest, is a compelling depiction of the world's tallest mountain. The movie presents Everest as both a breathtaking wonder and an unrelenting force of nature. As someone passionate about climbing, I found it to be a captivating exploration of the harsh realities mountaineers face. The film left me deeply moved. The plot is based on the notorious 1996 Mount Everest disaster, immersing viewers in a world where human ambition meets nature's raw power. It investigates how far people can push themselves when faced with seemingly unbeatable odds. Although not categorized as horror, Everest delivers fear that rivals any supernatural thriller. This fear comes not from traditional horror elements like monsters or killers, but from nature's relentless forces and our own vulnerability when faced with such daunting natural challenges. For those fascinated by high-altitude climbing and Mount Everest's history, this film accurately represents both its attraction and inherent risks. It captures climbers' mindsets, their fixation on reaching the summit, their resolve to surpass physical and mental boundaries, and the tragic consequences for those who underestimate their abilities against such extreme conditions. From the beginning, Everest establishes a foreboding atmosphere that influences every decision the climbers make. The mountain isn't merely presented as a physical challenge, but as a living entity, awe-inspiring yet deadly, unmoved by those attempting to scale its heights. Kormákur's direction, coupled with Salvatore Totino's outstanding cinematography, creates an immersive experience that places viewers on Everest's slopes. You can practically feel the thin air and biting cold through your screen. The story carefully builds tension while following several expeditions preparing to reach the top. The climbers are a combination of seasoned guides and enthusiastic clients, each with intricate motivations. Some want personal recognition, others aim to achieve lifelong dreams. Regardless of their individual motives, they share one common goal: to reach the summit, a feat that may prove to be their greatest accomplishment or potential downfall. What makes Everest unique, particularly for those with a keen interest in climbing, is its dedication to realism. It doesn't overlook the intricacies of climbing or the toll high-altitude mountaineering takes on the human body. From careful planning of oxygen supplies to critical timing for summit attempts, Everest provides an uncompromising view of both logistical and personal challenges involved in scaling the world's tallest peak. At its core, Everest examines human psychology. It delves into the mindset of those who willingly endure extreme altitude's harsh conditions. The climbers, portrayed by a skilled cast including Jason Clarke, Josh Brolin, and Jake Gyllenhaal, are presented as individuals addicted to pursuing something beyond themselves. For them, Everest isn't merely a mountain. It symbolizes ultimate success, testing their limits, and perhaps offering an escape from everyday life. However, this relentless pursuit also leads to some of the movie's most horrifying moments. As the weather deteriorates and catastrophe is imminent, climbers must make painful decisions about whether to retreat or press on. The guides constantly remind them that getting to the top isn't the real challenge, it's surviving the descent. This conflict between ambition and survival fuels some of Everest's most gripping scenes as characters grapple with realizing their dream could cost them everything. Group dynamics further add complexity to climber psychology. While teamwork is crucial in such hostile environments, tensions can lead to rifts within groups. Decisions made at critical junctures carry life or death implications. These interpersonal conflicts add emotional depth to Everest. It's not just a survival story, but also a tale of human error under immense pressure. The characters in Everest are distinct, each one carrying their own intriguing storylines. However, the real antagonist of the film isn't a character, but a force: the mountain itself. From the outset, It's clear that humans are not welcome on Everest. The thin air, unpredictable weather, and extreme physical exertion required to ascend even a little bit combined to create a decidedly hostile environment. As a storm gathers on the horizon, the movie shifts from careful narrative development into pure chaos. Conditions on Everest grow increasingly dangerous. Hurricane-like winds barrel through icy passages, and blinding snow reduces visibility to almost nothing. The climbers become tiny specks against the mountain's massive, unfeeling landscape, their lives hanging by a thread as they battle against nature's wrath. The intense cold permeates their bodies, oxygen supplies diminish rapidly, and gradually their bodies begin to shut down. The horror of this approaching storm is not only in its physical attack, but also in how it heightens the climber's isolation. Cut off from base camp with no communication or rescue options, they find themselves utterly alone, forced to survive as best they can in an environment completely indifferent to them. One of Everest's most sobering elements is its blunt depiction of how fragile human life is under such harsh conditions. As climbers' bodies start failing, succumbing to frostbite, exhaustion, or lack of oxygen, the film highlights the brutal truth that no amount of expertise or preparation can fully protect against Everest's dangers. The battle for survival on the mountain carries a haunting sense of inevitability. As they fight for their lives, it becomes clear that Everest is indifferent to their personal stories or reasons for climbing. The colossal mountain is immune to human ambition, and ultimately nature prevails. The climbers are left at the mercy of forces far beyond their control, and the film doesn't hold back in showing the tragic consequences of pushing one's limits. What distinguishes Everest is its basis in real-life events. Inspired by the 1996 disaster, where several climbers sadly lost their lives during descent due to an unexpected storm, it adds additional emotional weight for those familiar with mountaineering history. The characters depicted aren't just fictional. They represent actual individuals who faced formidable challenges and made heart-rending choices when faced with death. This connection with reality heightens the emotional impact of the film, as viewers are reminded that these distressing events truly happened. It is a tribute to those who died, but also recognizes the resilience and bravery shown by the survivors. Although grounded in reality, Everest taps into psychological fears often used by traditional horror films, the fear of the unknown being foremost among them. Climbers wrestle with a mountain that proves physically challenging and mentally overwhelming, while unpredictable storms add another layer of uncertainty. Their bodies' responses to the extreme altitude are often out of their control, further complicating their situation. This feeling of helplessness in facing nature's unpredictability forms a key part of the film's horror element. Despite being well prepared and experienced, climbers find themselves at the mercy of the mountain when conditions become hostile. From a film standpoint, Everest is a remarkable achievement. The cinematography skillfully captures the mountain's breathtaking majesty and harsh brutality, while the sound design immerses viewers in the climber's struggle. The cast gives top-notch performances, making their characters feel real and emotionally impactful. What sets Everest apart from similar films is its thoughtful examination of mountaineering's psychological toll. It doesn't just show the physical challenges of climbing, it digs into the mental and emotional stress that comes with such a dangerous pursuit. The climbers are pushed to their limits physically and mentally, and Everest critically examines how this intense pressure affects their relationships, decision-making, and self-image. The film sticks with you long after it ends. It paints a gripping yet haunting picture of mountaineering's inherent risks and serves as a stark reminder of human vulnerability against nature's mighty power. For anyone interested in Everest or high-altitude climbing, this film is essential viewing. It offers an engrossing and deeply moving account of one of mountaineering's most infamous disasters, while also warning viewers about the risks involved in pushing beyond one's abilities. While Everest might not fit into traditional horror movie categories, it taps into basic fears that drive some of cinema's best horror works. The real terror in Everest comes from realizing that no matter how prepared or skilled we are, there are forces out there that we simply can't control or foresee. This film highlights our fragile existence within nature, how we are often at her mercy despite our attempts to conquer her, and does so with brutal honesty that is as stunning as it is horrifying. Everest isn't just a film about a mountain or the people who try to climb it. It's about human ambition, resilience, and fragility when faced with overwhelming odds. It explores our basic fears and our stubborn refusal to surrender to them. Everest stands as a remarkable cinematic feat, presenting an immersive dive into the world of high-altitude mountaineering. The film's first-rate cinematography and sound design are paired with compelling performances, creating a realistic depiction of the allure and inherent dangers associated with scaling the world's highest peak. What sets Everest apart is its meticulous exploration of the psychological aspects that drive such extreme endeavors: individual motivations, group dynamics, and the resilience required to face impossible odds. More than just a survival story, it's an exploration of human ambition and vulnerability when pitted against nature's unforgiving power. This film serves as both a cautionary tale and an homage to human courage, leaving viewers with a haunting reminder. While some may conquer Everest, it remains indifferent and ruthless in its majestic grandeur. For those enthralled by high-altitude climbing or Everest itself, this film is not only a must-watch, but also a lasting impression of our place within nature's mighty grasp. Everest is a survival thriller action drama that is 2 hours and 1 minute long and is rated PG-13. The Southern Underworld gives it 5 bloody knives. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. See you next time. Thank you for watching.